Hello, this is a second demo for Monero Multisig graphical user interface. In this demo, we're going to focus on a particular feature of this app, which is called Trusted Peers. And this feature is going to allow users to generate Monero Multisig wallets much quicker, with much less coordination among the participants. We're going to use the same setup of a buyer, a marketplace, and a seller. And we will start by logging into the profile of the buyer. Once we log in, we connect to the Tor network and we get our Onion identity generated for us. And I already created 2 extra accounts for the other profiles, for the marketplace and for the seller. Now, what's particular about this setup is that we will assume that as soon as the buyer registers in the marketplace, it will essentially share its Onion identity with the marketplace. So we'll do that right now. The marketplace will basically just go on the address book and add the Onion identity of the buyer. And in the same way, the seller will also share its Onion identity with the marketplace. Now, both the buyer and the seller will also get the Onion identity of the marketplace and add it to the address book. And very importantly, both the buyer and the seller are going to tag the Onion identity of the marketplace as a trusted peer. So we go here to trusted peers inside the address book, and we select the Onion identity of the marketplace. And what we are essentially saying is that we are going to allow the Onion identity of the marketplace to create automatically up to 10 multi-sig wallets with maximum participant of 3 and minimum threshold of 2. And you can edit these variables as needed. So we'll just add. And we're going to do the same thing on the buyer side. We're going to tag the marketplace as a trusted peer. And I hope it's clear what we are trying to achieve here. Basically, when we register in some marketplace online, we don't know who are going to be buyers or the sellers. It really depends on the activity of the buyer. And in order to create a new multisig wallet would be just great if the marketplace would essentially coordinate between the buyers and the sellers without having need for the buyer and seller and marketplace to all coordinate very tightly to create a new multisig wallet. If we have this setup in place, now we can create a multisig wallet very quickly, and we'll just show you how. So now we can just go to wallets. So we can go to wallets, and now the marketplace, because it has both the Onion identity of the buyer and the seller, can do all the setup work. They'll just create a new reference, which is 123, new wallet name, ABC. We'll use the Onion identity of the marketplace, which is tagged as trusted peer for both the buyer and the seller. And we say we want an multisig with the buyer and with the seller, leaving the threshold as 2 once again. Now we just start the multisig setup automatically. And what's going to happen is that both the buyer and the seller are going to recognize the Onion identity of the marketplace as trusted and start the process of Monero Multisig wallet generation automatically in the background. So here we go. There we go. We have a new Monero Multisig wallet generated between the buyer, marketplace, and the seller. And all it really took was a small setup at the very beginning so that both buyer and seller assume that the marketplace is a trusted peer. And then the marketplace can essentially create as many Monero Multisig wallets as as needed automatically, and only needing one entity or one party to do the setup. There is also a possibility to create additional onion identities for the users. I'll make an example here for the marketplace as an example. I'm going to add this one also to the address book just for convenience. Okay. And what this will allow us is also to create multi-sig wallets using another feature from this app, which is called Notifier. And we'll just exemplify that right now. So if you go again to new wallet, coming from the profile of the marketplace, we can select Notifier, and we can select a new reference, call it Toast 123 as an example. And now what we're going to do, which is slightly different from the previous setup, is that marketplace is going to select its main onion identity as a notifier, because this onion identity is recognized as a trusted peer by both the buyer and the seller. And then it's going to specify who are going to be the participants in the multi-sig wallet. So it's going to be the onion identity that belongs to the marketplace, but the second one, let's say, that we just created, the buyer and the seller. So we can start the new multi-sig wallet in this process. So everyone starts a new multi-sig process in the background. And the main difference is essentially that while before we were creating Monero Multisig wallet with the main onion identity of the marketplace, now the marketplace managed to create a new Multisig wallet using an extra onion identity. And the idea is that we can essentially have one very public onion identity that is tagged as trusted peer for different users. And then we can generate other onion identities for the Monero Multisig wallet. And the idea is that we should, in theory, receive way less spam and abuse in the other onion identities. Of course, other users can also create other onion identities themselves as needed. So it could be that in order to preserve privacy to a max, both the buyer and seller could create, I don't know, 5 or 10 new onion identities and give these onion identities to the marketplace and instruct the marketplace to only use an onion identity once or twice, depending on the use case. All right, now just to finish this demo, we'll make another Monero Multisig transfer just for completeness of the example. So we'll use the first Monero wallet that we created. Again, we will assume that the buyer will make a payment into this address. Okay, just sent some Monero. There we go, it's on the way. And once again, as soon as we have 10 confirmations in this transfer, we'll make a multisig transfer. Okay, we have 10 confirmations. So let's finish this demo by making a simple Monero Multisig transfer. So we'll assume that the seller sent the goods to the buyer and the buyer has instructed the marketplace to make the payment to the seller. We'll add two destination amounts in our transfer, one for the seller and another one for the marketplace, because we assume that there is, as an example, 5% commission. Because we are using the entire balance, we need to instruct the app to deduct the fee from the destination amounts. And we can also say from which destination amount we want the fee to be deducted. We want the marketplace to send the transfer and also the seller. So we select the seller and then we start the transfer. What is happening right now is that the app of the marketplace is asking the app of the seller to send some multisig information from the wallet of the seller. So this is needed in order to create the multisig transfer. So we already received that in the background, already generated the transfer, and it's basically ready to approve and submit to the seller. And we just do that right now. Here in the app of the marketplace, we have a transfer tracker where we ping the seller for the status of the transfer that we just submitted. We go to the app of the seller, we should already see the transfer. It's here. We say start incoming transfer. We can review all the details from the destination amounts and also who has already signed the transfer and who's next in the line, which is us. If we are happy with everything, with the fee and so on, we can simply just approve and broadcast the transfer. There you go. And now we should see that also in the marketplace, it has been updated with the latest details of who has already signed the transfer. If we go back to the wallet, we can refresh the balance. It's already 0 on the seller side. And we can see here the transfer out already with one confirmation. If we go to the other wallets and we refresh, it's already updated with the latest transfer. Usually with outgoing transfers, sometimes it does not update. We need at least one confirmation in order to detect the outgoing transfer for the other wallets that did not sign last the transfer, but right now it has already updated. And that's it. Thank you very much.